it's good fun. Days like these are great. You get the whole industry together, and to have, companies and corporations like Interbet and Cape Racing who are so generous with sort of time and energy into making a day like this possible is it's fantastic for everyone.
Well, this is it. Race number 4, starting off the pick 6. 2 million rand carryover. Estimated pool 15 million. Well, what a way it'll be to end off your day and your season. It's not the last day of the season, that we know, but we're talking feature race season. This is where the curtain comes down when it comes to our KZN Champion season. It's a Douglas White Stakes, a Group 1 over 1,600 meters. And before we have a look at the field and try and find the winner, where many will be looking for is number 12, Quid Pro Quo. Let's have a look at the last win and an interview with Glenn Cotson.
Side, the 2 shades of purple. Katiwe's Destiny on the inside. Gimmy's Countess still got 4-5 lengths to make up. Whistle the Tune on the inside. Fatal Flaw, Quid Pro Quo exploding through on the outside. And Quid Pro Quo becomes electrified, has fire in the eyes to win it. Second position, Fatal Flaw. VJ's Angel in a photo.
Yeah, so when we won the listed race with her, we had a pair of cheek pieces on it. She over-raced really hard from a favourable draw, and Richard said, look, she still won with a little bit in hand because she was looking around and still green, but you got to take the cheek pieces off. And we took the cheek pieces off, and then we just found out with her that she was more afraid of noise more than anything else. So we put the earmuffs on, and we said to Richard, you can have her wherever you want. Sit up second, sit up third, she won't pull. And Richard was still a little bit sceptical, I think, and he said no, he wants to have a little bit further back than we want him to be because she might pull. Anyway, so she was further back than we wanted to, and when she came with her run, she had to be balked for a run, and he sat up in the irons for a good second type of thing. I think that cost her from running probably second maybe, and I think he's gone with the draw and the fact that she is exposed, and these races you need a bit of racing experience to win them. And I think that's why he's chosen her, but she's an awesome filly, and she's looking amazing. Her work's been flawless, so we're happy. Gorgeous filly. When Richard's won on all 3 of them, and not surprising, but it must have been a hard choice which one he wanted to ride. He first said that Spirit Lavana's our best filly 2-year-old. Then he switched to Lock and Key, and now he's chosen to ride Sandy Arundel's filly. So it says we must have a fair chance in this race. I think she's an awesome filly. She's big, she's strong. She ran second to Kenilworth filly. He was awfully unlucky not to win the Group 1 her next start. And then she beat the colts that are running in the Group 1 on the day as well. Which says something. That particular day we took a chance. She was a filly against the colts. We needed to get another run in, and we asked the club to put a race on. And we were hoping they were going to put on a fillies and a colts race, and they ended up only putting on one. So we had to take on the colts, and we thought, well, let's just put the apprentice allowance on and see if that won't make the difference. And the kid ran a nice race, and we managed to beat the colts. And I think they were a little bit gobsmacked because both Kenilworth and Alec Laird both thought their colts were unbeatable. So I think that she's a very, very smart filly, and she's working exceptionally well. She looks good. We're just freshening her up now, and I'm hoping for a cracking run with her. Yeah, we think she's a special filly. She's won 2 from 2. She won really well first time out, and with respect, not beating much, but it's the way she won. And then she won a second start beating the older fillies, giving a lot of those old handicappers a weight. I thought it was quite an impressive start in the first run on the poly. She's a very, very nice filly. She's still immature mentally. She hasn't got the best of draws, but we got Keegan de Mello up. He came and put a leg over on Tuesday and was blown away by her. So she's an awesome filly. I think we'd have to get lucky. The instructions are going to be limited because whether they say good jockeys don't need instructions and bad ones don't follow them. So let's just see how it goes. We'll just have to see what happens.
Well, that is a strange one because you heard Glenn Cotson. I've got 3 runners in the race, and I can promise you it's a strange one for me because If I was doing the rides, Graham, I wouldn't have gone for this number 4, Whistle the Tune. Of the 3 runners, if I had the choice from the Glenn Cotson stable for Richard Fourie, but he knows the 3 fillies so well. Let's just touch on those 3 runners. If you had to pick the pick out of those 3, where would that have been your pick?
Well, I'm not going to go against Richard Fourie's judgment, so not here in public anyway.
I'm just saying, if I was doing the
I
rides...
think he must have felt something on Whistle the Tune last time. As we heard from Glenn, she should have possibly have finished second. So
yes.
She ran second once before behind Quid Pro Quo, well beaten though, again beaten by Quid Pro Quo. So irrespective of the fact that she's drawn 4 and Quid Pro Quo has drawn 12, I think Richard Fourie accepts that it's going to be a tough call to beat Quid Pro Quo, but this of Glenn Cotson's trio offers the best chance. I would probably have been in the camp of Spirit of Levana, who I think is a very progressive, nice type of filly. But I'm not going to argue with Richard Fourie.
Well, he's priced up at 20 to 1. 9 is priced up at 8 to 1, and 13 at 33 to 10. Well, that's Richard Fourie's decision.
Lock and Key, of course, could be anything. She's 1-2 from 2, but this is a big step forward for her from the worst of the draw. You've got to admire Glenn Cotson's optimism when he says she hasn't got the best of the draws. He failed to say she's actually got the worst of the draws. But the Arundels have got 4 Whistle the Tune and 2 World of Alice. And before we move on to the obvious 2 horses, which are Fatal Flaw and Quid Pro Quo, World of Alice is a progressive filly. She's crying to go out over the mile again. The 1400, those were the only races available to get some racing into her, because she's also, like Bjorn Ironside, we're going to see the best of World of Alice as a 3-year-old. She's going to mature and strengthen, but she beat Fatal Flaw over 1,600 metres. Sure. And so on a line through Fatal Flaw, World of Alice from gate 2 is certainly one that you've got to go throw into your exacta trifecta quartet play, even if she's not good enough at this stage of her career to deal with the talent of number 12, Quid Pro Quo. Interestingly, again, at this stage, the handicappers' ratings suggest that Quid Pro Quo is comfortably clear of Fatal Flaw. Whistle the Tune has got the 3rd highest handicapper rating. So maybe if Richard Fourie, without possibly knowing what the unofficial ratings were but from the handicappers, Whistle the Tune is a clear 3rd ahead of Lock and Key, who's 4th in the ratings in terms of being the best weighted. But let's get to Fatal Flaw and Quid Pro Quo, because of course the Golden Slipper is part of the unofficial Triple Crown for 2-year-old fillies. It starts with the Alan Robertson, then goes into the Golden Slipper, and now, of course, the Douglas White Stakes, so the registered name, the Tequini Stakes. If Quid Pro Quo was to win this race, she becomes the first filly in history to win all 3 of those races. And there are a lot of people hoping she does that for the underdogs. Gerald Khalil, Baron Burtis. Samanga Kamala's no underdog, of course. He's used to winning races at the very highest level. But what an accomplishment it would be for number 12, Quid Pro Quo, to reel off the unofficial Triple Crown for 2-year-olds. She's won her last 4 starts. She went past Fatal Flaw comfortably over 1,400 metres. For me, the distance for Quid Pro Quo is not a problem. You'd need a bit of luck in running from a 12 gate. Hopefully there's a lot of speed early in the race, and that could be the way the race turns out. That Samanga, without too much effort, can get one off the rail. But Fatal Flaw, you've got to respect Fatal Flaw. Stratham riding again for Brett Crawford, for Arun Chada. She did nothing wrong. She'll probably be ahead of Quid Pro Quo turning for home. We've got that tailwind that is forecast, so that complicates matters to a degree, particularly if it is significantly strong. They're talking about possibly 30, 35 kilometers an hour.
Oh, they said on Hollywoodbets Durbanville, I mean, they said it's going to be 40 to 50. It never happened.
Well, of course, that's with forecasts. They're worse tipsters than we are. So I'm firmly in the camp. The key horse on the day, if you're talking about the pick 6s and every other exotic bet, is without question number 12, Quid Pro Quo. If you're firmly in her camp and you're banker in all bets, which the form book suggests you should do, and she wins, then you're off to a flying start. So I'm not looking for anything to beat number 12, Quid Pro Quo. I think she is the right horse. There are dangers. Of course, there are always dangers. If Quid Pro Quo fluffs her lines for whatever reason, then we could be in for a surprise result. World of Alice, even Sorcerer Supreme at 50 to 1 is not one that I would throw out the window. Put it into your trifectas and quartets. Whistle the Tune with Fatal Flaw, Spirit of Levana, Lock and Key. Those are all progressive fillies that could get into the mix for the minor money, but I'm expecting number 12, Quid Pro Quo, to get the job done.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Quid pro quo beside the rating, and don't worry about the distance. That's going to be no issue. You saw that rerun there. She was only starting up her engine at the 200-meter mark, and in a space of a furlong, she actually won going away. The balance and the opposition, they actually were taken out comfortably over that last 100 meters, just with the turn of foot. So let me say this. If you know that anything that finished behind her cannot turn the form around, then you just got a limited number of horses that you can choose from. Number 2 is one of them, World of Alice. She's certainly one of them. She wasn't in that race. Number 9, Spirit of Lavana, is the other horse. She wasn't in that race. And Lock and Key is the other runners. There are few, but I don't see them in this type of class. So I would say between numbers 2, 9, and 13, there is the key to success if you want to try and beat number 12 here, Graham, because the balance, if you agree with Graham that she'll have their measure, then those are the only 3 runners that I've picked out could possibly challenge. If Graham's right about this tailwind, and it does happen and materialize on the day, then number 7, Fateful Floor, I think, is a massive runner here. I agree with Graham as a horse that he's singled out as a possible danger. Because when you look at the way she was ridden from that draw last time out, she's going to get much easier to get possibly to the head of affairs or to the front, and Pierre will be, sharp to the conditions on the day, and he could make that work in his favor. But no doubt, as Graham mentioned, we could see history being made on Whirlpool Gold Cup Day if Put Crow Crow has to win the 1600. The Douglas White 1600, then she'll add the Alan Robertson and the Golden Slipper to the name, and she'll be Graham.
First filly in history to do so.
Well, you heard it from Graham, and we're all rooting for Baron Boertes, Gerald Khalil, Samanga Kumalo, and Quid Pro Quo.
It's Donovan Everett from Cape Racing, and I'd just like to say it's an absolute pleasure to be involved with Intrabet and Cape Breeders in this golf day today here at Pearl Valley. It's fantastic for the industry to see all the relevant stakeholders coming down and having a good time and networking, and it's exactly what the industry needs right now in terms of moving forward and recreating some positivity to take us forward into the next year.